Have you ever wondered what people sing about in different places around the world and how lyrics change from place to place? Well, I have, and today we're going to find out because I used AI to analyze 350 songs from 37 different countries. And stick around because the results are pretty surprising. What does the world sing about? Love, pain, society? Does every country sing about the same things? Do some places have happier songs than others? What does that say about their culture? These were the types of questions in my mind. A while ago, it would be very hard to make such an analysis in an objective way. It would just take too long to analyze so many songs from so many different places and languages. But now we have large language models that can analyze a lot of text in a matter of seconds. So I got an idea. What if I analyze top ranking songs from around the world to find out what people are really singing about? Sounds cool, but how would I do that? Well, these are the steps that I came up with. First, find the top ranking songs around the globe. For prompting the AI, I knew about ChatGPT extensions for Google Sheets, so I needed to find a good one. Then, I would need to create the prompts and have the AI analyze the lyrics. And finally, I could generate insights from this data. So let's go into each step in detail, starting with finding the top songs. Otherwise, we have nothing to analyze. You've probably heard of the Billboard charts, so I went on their website to check which global charts they have. Turns out they have all these charts for all these countries. To avoid redundancies, whenever there are more than one chart for a specific country, I use the Hot 100 or the top songs, something like that. Notice that these are weekly charts for commercial songs. That is, songs that are playing on the radio right now, and this is the criteria I adopted. So this analysis is a picture of what's trending in July of 2024. There's no subjective judgment on whether I like these songs or not. This would be a whole different debate that's not the focus of the video. I'm simply referencing the charts as an objective measure of what is popular. Okay, so now we need to define how many songs we're going to analyze. There are 48 countries represented in this chart, except for the Arabic chart that accounts for a few different countries in Middle East and North Africa, not really clear which ones. So to get a relevant data volume, I decided to pick 10 songs per chart, which should give us 480 songs total. If any songs appear in more than one chart, I'll try to keep them on the artist's native country's chart and skip them on other charts. This way, we only have each song appearing once in the analysis and attributing the information to its country of origin. And I'll also skip lyrics if I cannot find them. After figuring out the source and criteria for the songs, it was time to find a good AI extension for Google Sheets. I had already used ChatGPT extensions for Google Sheets, so I knew this could be potentially a simple and effective way to get the analysis done. However, it had been a while, so I didn't have any extensions installed in my browser anymore. So I searched for one on the Chrome store. I filtered a few and started testing. The first one I tried did not work out. It didn't work well and it was also very limited, trying to bump me up to a paying plan right away, so it got rejected. The second one worked like a charm though. It's this Sheet GPT. You just have to install it on the browser and go to Extensions, Sheet GPT, and turn it on. You have instructions right there, and if you know how to use Excel and Google Sheets, you'll have no problem using it. Now that I had the extension, it was time to build a prototype to figure out the prompt and analysis. First, I started figuring out what I wanted to know from the lyrics and working on the prompts. So here we have the basic info for each song: name, artist, country, and lyric. Then we go to the AI-generated information. We start with an English translation as a normalization step, quote unquote. This makes it possible for me to understand and validate results for lyrics in languages I don't speak. All other prompts will then be based on the English translation of the original lyrics. After the translation, we get a summary so we understand the story and meaning behind the lyrics. Then we go one step deeper to get the lyric sentiment and explore its meaning even further. We then categorize the lyric sentiment and get the main topics and relevant words. Now that we have the AI analysis, we can use this information to generate data and insights. So here we map country, region, sentiment, topics, and words. And here we do some basic calculations to figure out and plot how often each theme shows up, distributions, and rankings. So far, things are working out. With the prototype validating our idea, we can now move on to the real analysis for our top songs around the world. I duplicated the spreadsheet and started with the very boring job of checking the charts, finding the lyrics for each song, and populating the spreadsheet. Around 500 freaking times. So this is the final song list. We got exactly 350 songs linked to 37 countries. Some countries were left out because they did not have any new songs that hadn't appeared in another country's chart. This was especially the case for English-speaking countries. That's why England, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand are not on the final list. USA and Canada mostly took the songs that are charting in these other places as well. I had to do some cleanup on the data provided by the AI. As you can see, there's a lot of information here, and AI literally assigned hundreds of topics from lyrics, so it was a bit hard to think of a relevant analysis. So I resorted to the good old word cloud. So as you can see, there's a lot of repeating topics here. We have a lot of longing, a lot of heartbreak, confidence songs, love, nostalgia, regret, some songs about frustrations, relationships, defiance of society, empowerment, excitement. So a whole range of lyric topics, lifestyle, partying, luxury as well, passion, devotion, hope. So yeah, a lot of different topics. As for the sentiments, the AI originally provided over 100 sentiments for the songs, which was not great for plotting data. So I asked the AI to condense them in as few sentiments as possible and ended up with 16 sentiments, which are love, which includes adoration, affectionate devotion, infatuation, romance; joy, which includes admiration, appreciation, celebration, etc.; sadness, anger, anxiety, confidence, complexity, rebellion, nostalgia; comfort, passion, liberation, admiration, materialism, negative, and hope. So if you want to, stop for a bit and see where each of the sentiments is grouped, just feel free to do so. Pause the video. It would, be too boring for me to just read out loud each one of those. But one important mention here is that within sadness, we have heartbreak, loneliness, right? So that's an important one because that came up a lot in the topics. Now we're starting with the sentiment analysis, and for this analysis it is worth noting the data set size and the main sentiments per region. So starting with the world, we have 350 songs as we mentioned, so relevant data set size, and we have a lot of sad songs, a lot more than I expected, which are kind of counterbalanced by the love and joy songs. We have some passion, we have a good amount of songs talking about confidence as well, and some other sentiments like nostalgia, rebellion, complexity. It's like duality, is ambivalent, it's conflicted, that kind of things. But when we look at the graph on the bottom, we see it's just another way to see the bar chart, but we see that sadness is dominating, right? We have a lot of sad songs, and then we have love and joy kind of counterbalancing that, as well as passion and confidence. Now breaking up per region, if we go to North America, first important thing to notice is the data set size. It's only 20 because it's just basically US and Canada. Since we're doing 10 songs per country, that's why we have only 20 data points here, right? Still, a lot of sad and negative emotions in these songs, right? So what's up with you guys? Are you okay? And then we have some love, some joy songs, and confidence, nostalgia, and rebellion showing up as well, but mostly sad and negative songs. And we go to Latin America. And in Latin American, we have a lot of sadness and a lot of passion. And remember, guys, when I say sadness, there's a lot of heartbreak songs in there. And what can I say? We Latins are apparently very passionate people. A lot of passion, a lot of sadness, mostly from heartbreaks, and the data set size is 70, so it's relevant data set. And we go to Europe. The data set is a lot more robust, a lot more countries, so 173 data points, and we see kind of almost a tie between joyful songs that talk about confidence, so empowerment, that kind of stuff, and sadness, heartbreak as well, mostly heartbreak and longing, loneliness, that kind of stuff. So yeah, Europe is a mix mostly between joy, confidence, and sadness. And we go to Asia. Asia is also very sad. Come on, guys. A lot of sad songs followed by confidence songs, so empowerment and stuff, which is good. And then we have complexity. And in complexity, remember, we have kind of those mixed feelings, duality, feeling conflicted, that type of lyrical content. And we go to, one other thing, data set size for Asia is interesting. It's similar to Latin America, 7 data points, so it's a nice one. And then we get to South Africa. And South Africa, the first important observation is data set size, which is only 7 songs. So for Africa, the only country that has a chart is South Africa. So we're already limited there. And then for South Africa, I could only get 7 songs because there were a few that had already appeared in other countries before, and then some songs that I couldn't really find the lyrics, but I could find 7 of them. So with this data set size disclaimer, South Africa is very, very joyful, right? It's mostly joy that is showing up here. Of course, again, 4 songs out of 7, so data set size, not great, but very joyful country. Congrats to you guys. And then we finally have Middle East and North Africa. Another observation about data set size, it's only 10 songs. This is that Arabic chart that Billboard condenses. They say they have countries from Middle East and North Africa. They don't really explain which country, so it's kind of cloudy there how that information translates in that sense, in the geographical sense. So but looking at the AI analysis, we have a lot of sad songs again, but they're counterbalanced with songs about love and joy, some hope, some complexity, some negative emotions, but yeah, mostly sad, counterbalanced with love and joy. And at this point, I thought it would be cool to have some sort of a geographical analysis, like a heat map. But in order to do that, I needed some type of a score that could incorporate all sentiments into one thing. So I came up with this simple score, right? So you take the most negative emotion and you multiply it by 10. And then you take the second most negative emotion and you multiply it by 20, and then the third most by 30, and so on to get to the happiest of them all, or the most positive emotion, which is love, and you multiply it by 160. Now, to sort the sentiments, I used AI as well. And this scale, multiplying by 10, 20, 30, and so on, is just a simple way to kind of spread those out in a spectrum, so that I could be able to plot these in a geographical chart. And since now we have a score, why not create a ranking, right? Everybody loves ranking. So this is kind of the ranking between related to country sentiments. So we have Denmark, India, Spain, Chile, Romania, Germany, South Korea up top with over 1,000 points, with kind of the happiest or the most positive lyrical content being consumed right now. And then we have a bunch of countries in the middle. As expected, we have a bunch of Latin American countries around the 800, 700. It's a big balance between passion and sadness. That happens for some countries in Asia, Europe as well. And then at the bottom, we have US, Indonesia, Belgium, Iceland. Are you okay, guys? Maybe you could use some help. Let us know. And then we plot this finally into a chart. So this is just the translation of that score into a geographical chart. You see the scale here. So the closest we are to the light blue, just kind of grayish as well, like, but the light blue means the most negative content, and the bright red means the most positive content, right? So it's really translating as a heat map here, which is pretty cool. So you see the ones that we mentioned: Iceland, Belgium, not great, a bit sad. And then you have US, also kind of sad. And then we start to get more into the yellow region and orange. And so we see Latin America over there. We see a bunch of countries in Europe, South Africa over there as well. And then we get to the reddest countries, which have the most positive lyrical content being consumed. And there we have Chile, we have Spain, we have Germany, we have India, South Korea, right? So that's pretty cool. And then we zoom in a little bit into Latin America, zoom in a little bit in Europe as well. You know, Nordic countries kind of surprised me here. I would expect them to be closer to Iceland, but I was wrong. And then we have Asia zooming in as well. So all things considered, this was a fun experiment, and I got some expected and some unexpected insights. Yes, different places sing about different things, but I did not expect this amount of sad songs. Heartbreak is probably one of the most universal things, right? On the bright side, the world sings a lot about love and joyful times. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. See ya!